Oh, wow. Happy Sunday. Wow. Welcome to the Visions of Greatness talk show, where we empower, educate, and equip entrepreneurs to achieve success in their life and business. I'm your host, Shanna A. Jefferson. For those of you who are new to the Visions of Greatness platform, I know y'all it's been some time since I've gone live, but we are back, and I'm so elated to have you today for the third season of the Visions of Greatness talk show. Now, we have a very special guest today, but before we get to him, y'all, I want y'all to share this live stream, okay? So while we primarily help entrepreneurs, this broadcast is for everybody. The topic today is how to thrive during a pandemic. And certainly now with the COVID-19 pandemic, we'll be speaking some. But beyond that, for entrepreneurs, it's important for you to learn how to not only survive, but thrive through any pandemic that you may go through in your life or business. All right, y'all. So once again, share the video. And without ado, I want to go ahead and introduce our special guest for today. Oh my gosh, y'all, my heart is so full. We have the one and only Vegas Don. Let me bring him on the screen here so y'all can see him. Now, I'm sure, hey Vegas.
Hey, thank you.
Vegas Don. Now, I'm sure Vegas Don, you don't need an introduction for most of our listening audience today. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself. But let me say this first. I actually have been following Vegas Don, y'all, for many years. Many years. Like, I remember probably about 10 years ago, I actually went to one of his plays with Joe Crack. I think is the name of the play in the Bull City, Durham, North Carolina. Was very amazed by the production and everything else with that play. But fast forward 10 years later, y'all, it took me 10 years to finally meet this genius entrepreneur genius in person. And now I'm so grateful that I've been working with him now for about 6 months. I've learned so much, and I know those of you who have worked with him, or if you're connected with him in any way, you can attest to the same thing. So again, he can tell y'all more about him than I can. But once again, y'all, we have the one and only, y'all, Vegas Don. What's up, Mr. Vegas Don?
How you doing? I really appreciate you, and working with you is a pleasure as well. I mean, we strive for greatness. That's all we're about. And I love your heart. I love what you're trying to do and uplift our people and take our people to the next level. And we have many conversations. So big ups to you. My hat goes off to you. I'm excited to be on your show. I definitely want to help people strive during this pandemic. Just got to really be creative. And, people say, think outside of the box. My first lesson is throw the box away. So that's what we want to talk about today. Just throw the box away. But once again, thank you for having me on your show. Have I shared it yet? Because I do.
Yeah, let's see. Everyone, go ahead and take a few seconds to share. I'm going to do the same thing now as well. Thank you once again to everyone who's watching. Share, do a watch party.
I don't see why I can do a watch party yet, do you? What do I do? I see your frame on there, but that's it. I'm going to see. Okay, let me see. You just sent.
Yes, thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all. Absolutely. Share it with your mama, your cousin, them, the entrepreneurial buddies, right? Share it with everyone, okay? Once again, this is the Visions of Greatness talk show live with your host, Shanna A. Jefferson, and our very special guest, y'all, Mr. Vegas Don of the Bull City. Yeah. Who's all in the Bull City, by the way? Let me see you. Drop an emoji if you are tuning in from the Bull City today.
Okay, I'm on.
Let me see you drop.
I am on and ready. Can you hear me?
Yes, turn your volume down actually on that other device.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. Okay, perfect.
That's what's up. Don't want nothing to hold us back.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go here. So Vegas, oh gosh, so much we can talk about, but I know we're limited in time. And once again, the topic today, y'all, is how to thrive during a pandemic. Now, before we jump more into the topic for today, Vegas Dawn, I would like for you to share a little bit more about how you actually, your experiences. Just tell me more about you. You
Oh
know,
wow.
like just take us a little back, just a little bit. I know there's a lot in here.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. I feel like I done lived two double lives. Real short, quick story. Raised up in the poverty, raised by my grandmother. Mother was nowhere, out in the streets. Daddy nowhere to be found. A young man, didn't have no guidance. Ended up at the age of 19 receiving a 30-year sentence in prison. Really hadn't did nothing malice or anything. It's just I was just out there in the streets, menace to society, and I went to prison and just really got on my knees and prayed to God, and then said, "Hey, Lord, if you allow me to get back out, I'm gonna dedicate the rest of my life to help kids and people who have been raised up in the same environment I was raised up in." And my sentence was overturned after 5 years, and I got out. Long story short, I didn't live up to the promise I had promised God, and went back to the streets. And then God pretty much snatched me up out of nowhere and said, "Hey, you got to come and work for me." So for the last 21 plus years, I've been campaigning for change. My nonprofit has been running now for 20 plus years. Nonprofit, anti-gang, anti-drug focused, but we do everything from feeding the homeless to sheltering the homeless to we got an elderly program. Before the pandemic, we visit the elderly. I do an annual Christmas party at the rest home. I mean, you name it, we pretty much done did it. Back to school drives. I mean, you name it. I feel like once I got out in the community and if I seen a need, I tried to fulfill that need. So I've been blessed during this 20-year journey. I done produced a book, a movie soundtrack, a production. I have did my own basketball league. I just always, music studio. I done sold jingles to companies. I mean, it just goes on and on. And this is pretty much relevant to the subject matter today. You just really have to reinvent yourself when time changes, when things changes, when conditions change, finances change. You have to really be innovative and creative to work with what you got. It don't take a lot. You just got to work with what you got. But yeah, I just been blessed, man, to be able to travel and educate people. I'm a consultant. I do multiple things I've been blessed with. Through my trials and tribulations, I think I gained knowledge. And by all the bumps and bruises and the mistakes I made, I learned, okay, we can't go down that road no more. We have to turn left. So, I believe in, it's a statement that they say, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. I think at this day and time, you just need to reinvent the wheel. And I think through the course of my business ventures, I always puts a twist to it. Like I reinvented the wheel to make me kind of stand out, which is a niche. I mean, I think once you stand out, you attract, people that want to be a part of what you're doing or invest in you or something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. And I'm looking at the comments here, Vegas Dawn. Gail, of course, she's representing the Bull
Yes.
City.
Yeah.
But yes, but she says the Hope Dealer, and I love that name as well. And what the story you just shared about your life journey, Vegas Dawn, and everything that I've seen in working with you closely, as well as from social media, even prior to working with you, I will definitely attest to the fact that you certainly provide hope to so many of us, regardless of the walk of life. So I definitely appreciate and salute you for doing that. And whatever role that I can play in helping you push your vision forward and helping us, I'm there. So thank you.
Well, you've been phenomenal, and I can say this the same way you've seen me on Facebook doing positive things. I seen you before we ever had a conversation doing positive things. And I think we reached out to each other a couple of times, just said, hey, if I'm ever in the area, let's connect, because you have to surround yourself around positive people and people who are trying to do something for the good, not only for themselves but for other people. And I commend you. We're doing this new project, VCC, Virtual Community Connections, and I asked you to offer free mental health consultations for people who are in need, and you jumped to it. It wasn't a question about it. You didn't care if we was talking about paying you anything. You said, I'm in. And I just want to commend you. So the same way I inspire you, believe it or not, you inspire me as well.
Thank you, Vegas Dawn. All right, so you've already shared a little bit when it comes to our topic, how to thrive during a pandemic. And again, everyone who's tuning in today, of course, for the last, 6-7 months or so, we have been enduring the COVID-19 pandemic. But certainly there are other pandemics that many of us have endured, for various lengths of time. And as entrepreneurs, as long as you're in this journey as an entrepreneur, you're going to go through a pandemic, or you're going to go through trials and tribulations. But as Vegas Dawn, I love the two nuggets you dropped. You say you have to be innovative and creative, at all times. And with that innovation and creativity, you're certainly going to thrive, right?
Yes,
Not just survive, but you're going to be able to thrive regardless of what comes your way. So thank you for sharing. Hopefully y'all are taking notes. Be innovative and creative entrepreneurs. And this ain't just for entrepreneurs, okay? These are tools that all of us can use in our lives, right, on an ongoing basis. So thank you again for sharing that. Now, when it comes, though, to the impact of the pandemic, Vegas Dawn, on small businesses and entrepreneurs, actually, even prior to the pandemic, studies suggest, Vegas Dawn, and perhaps you already know this, that 50% of small businesses fail within the first year, right? And the numbers that survive after years 5 and 10, certainly much lower. So what advice will you give to entrepreneurs who are perhaps just starting out in their business endeavors, or those who have been in business for some time, when it comes to truly surviving this pandemic? And again, I know you've already mentioned being innovative and creative, but what other tips or practical, guidance will you give them to thrive?
Well, I got plenty, but I think one of the most important things is it's when I create something, I'm always jumping on the hot topics or the hot subject. If I give you an example, 21 years ago, really no organization really was focusing on gangs at all. You had some to do dip and dab, but when I launched, gangs was the hot topic. So once we created Campaign for Change and our focus was gangs, pretty much we was like the only fish in the sea that someone can go to and really get some tangible, not just lessons learned, but people who could deal with that type of culture and those type of people. So as gangs end up dying, not being the top subject, then it was STEM. So we created programs that we were dealing with the gang members, where we also had gang members taking STEM classes. That's how we was able to get funding from people like Duke Energy and things like that nature. So as the time progressed, you have to kind of shift paradigms. I don't care what business you're in, add that component to somewhere in your business model. And I'll give you an example. My basketball league was supposed to start up this summer. Of course, because of the pandemic, there was no basketball league, where I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, just to be honest with you. So I had to be innovative and creative. So I knew virtual to form was the way to go. So we started developing programs virtually so we can then be attractive to the funders and the people who want to support people virtually, because it's pretty much when the COVID really hit, and it hit hard, that's the only way you could offer services. You couldn't go out. I couldn't go out in the community and be around 500 or 200 people or 50 people. So we had to be able to kind of give the same services pretty much, but virtually. So if I give you an example, if someone, and I'm just saying this out of the blue, if someone owned a cupcake shop, it's ways that you could market your business or complete a service virtually if you put your mind to it, selling donuts or selling cupcakes or whatever business you're in. You have to incorporate your business and your whatever route you're trying to go, you have to incorporate that with some of the hot topics or the buzzwords. I mean, people, I give you an example. They say, oh, this pandemic is bad. It's bad. It's terrible. Everybody's not losing money during this pandemic. The man who's making going out of business signs is making millions. His business is flourishing. So you have to also take advantage of a disadvantage. So you look at it as well, okay, this is bad. Yes, it's terrible, but how can I make money off this? How can I survive and create a business off this? And you got to start thinking outside the box and then throw the box away.
Wow, I love that. And I say that often, Megazon, and it goes to mindset, right? I think one of my recent posts was about the importance of mindset. You know, certainly the COVID-19 pandemic is challenging for all of us, right? We all are impacted by this pandemic. You know, I personally have been impacted. I lost a sister to the pandemic back in April of this year, and an aunt, and others have been diagnosed. So I get it, right? But as you said, you know, it's not necessarily about what's happening to you, right? It's how you deal with what's happening to you. How do you turn that perhaps disadvantage, right, or this challenging situation into an opportunity for your life and or for your business?
Yeah.
And first, before you can do that, you have to have the right mindset, y'all.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, I got on this your show, and I'm smiling, and I seen Jubilee, and I'm happy. But I just recently, not too long ago, got some of the most devastating news in my life, something that's plaguing, my significant other. But we have to move forward. We got to remain the course, and, she don't need to see me down, and I need to pick her up, and I got to push her and hey, God is good, and you just keep striving, and we're going to live the best we can with whatever we got. And, some people focus on, I wouldn't have half of the success that I have if I focus on if I had enough money to do so. I'll give you an example. When I started my basketball league, I never thought I would start one, but when I started, and I wanted to do it to a top level where we had commentators, we had the magazine, we broadcasting on live TV. This is just a youth league, and nobody was doing this. So once I did the figures, I realized that, what the money I had to invest in this league, well, I had probably 1/4 of what I needed. But I walked out on faith. I put what I had into it, and I gave it my all. And by the third year, I was making 4 times what I invested in it. So that's how it goes. You'll never have all your ducks in a row when you start a business. You'll never have everything you need when you start your business. And as you grow your business and you continue to grow it, it's like the more money you make, because if you want to expand, some people concentrate on, well, I got 2 businesses in Durham. I have a business in Durham. Well, why not get a business in Greensboro? Why not get a business in Florida? Why not get a business in Europe? Why not get a business in Spain? Why not get a business in Africa? You can duplicate those same businesses as long as it's a successful model. You can do it worldwide. But we always think so small 9 times out of 10. So I try to encourage people, think humongous. So even if you fail the humongous worldwide, you might be statewide. It's still a big success.
Right, absolutely. Share this often. You probably know I love listening to TD Jakes, and I heard him say once, Vegas Gone, that entrepreneurship is a mindset, and that essentially goes to what we have been discussing. You have to have the right mindset. You can't just jump into entrepreneurship, just because you think it's a trend or, for whatever reason. You truly have to be passionate about it. You truly have to have the right mindset when it comes to entrepreneurship. It truly is a lifestyle, y'all. Okay, it ain't no temporary gig. Okay, if you go in with the mindset it is temporary, you're not going to be successful. So in order to be successful as an entrepreneur, you have to get your mindset on point. And I'm telling y'all, okay, your girl focuses on mindset often, but Vegas Gone, he'll check you real quick if I'm not on point. Yes,
it's ironic that you say that, because to order to become rich, you have to start thinking rich first. You have to make rich people decisions, and it could be as small as not to go out and buy those $300 Jordans and buy those $40 comfortable Adidas, and just and just live your life modestly till you get to your end goal. Now, I just created another group that we're having a Zoom. This will be our second Zoom tomorrow, and it's a total of 15 African Americans. And I tossed and turned what I was going to name the group, and like always, God always bring it to me pretty much when I sleep. And soon as God revealed the name to me, I knew that was it. And the name of the group is Millionaire Brothers. Millionaire Brothers. See, ain't none of us millionaires individually, but 15 of us together, we are millionaires. And we put our money together, we can move mountains. And that's the group I just developed. It's called the Millionaire Brothers. And I asked them, when all this was on Zoom, the initial meeting, I said, who on this Zoom is a millionaire? Raise your hand. Nobody could raise their hand. But I named it Millionaire Brothers. But I showed them by the numbers. If we put all our money together, we're millionaires. And if we put our money together and stop being selfish and worried about who's calling what shot and who's it, we all got experiences, talents, expertise, resources. I got some resources. If someone who's my partner, they gonna eat. And I know they got resources. If I was their partner, I could eat. And what I mean by eat, let me clarify, we can get money together. It does me no good if I have a resource that I can get, let's say, $20,000 from, and I'm not sharing it with a partner or with a brother that's in business with me, and he can go get 20,000 or 50,000. I don't care if he get more than me. And that's what we have to start doing. We have to share and collaborate our talents, our expertise, our finances, and most important, the love for one another. We don't share love no more. And what I'm teaching these brothers is, forget the money. We got to operate off love first. If we worried about who doing what, it'll never happen. It'll never happen.
Wow, so many things to take from that, Vegas Don. And again, I hope y'all are taking notes. I'm over here taking some notes myself. But just on the last note there, love. Love is truly the number one currency, y'all. If more of us will truly, genuinely, y'all, not some of the time, don't be sometime or just because time. And no, you have to be genuine about the love, one for yourself and love for your brothers and sisters, y'all. Okay, we're in this together, and look, as you see, Vegas Dawn, with Millionaire Brothers, like, look, the power of collaboration, the power of coming together, right? And you know how many more people that they can impact, and how much better that they're going to be as individuals because they've come together. Now, there's enough out here for all of us, right? So collaborate, share, and more importantly, like Vegas Dawn say, y'all, show some love.
Yeah. And see,
give some
and
love.
What people, this is a saying, they say, well, and it's true, a 3-inch tongue could tear down a 6'5" man, right? But you can also use that same 3-inch tongue to uplift a 4-foot man. It's just, we focus more on what we don't have and the negatives and don't focus on the attributes. When I requested from each man, each guy on the Zoom, what I requested from them, I said, send me your expertise, your talents, and your resources. Each one of us has, and I'm not lying, about 5 or 6 easy expertise in certain fields. We got brothers that's just experts in their own field, but they only operate in their own field. Think of if they shared that and we shared each other's. It could be phenomenal, and it will be phenomenal. I mean, we're moving forward. I mean, so it's just a matter of putting the right people together. A lot of times we invite people to the table that's not ready not ready to show love, not ready to collaborate and offer resources or offer help for one another. I mean, in this Millionaire Brothers, what I'm creating and I have developed is someone may go through a financial crisis. We'll have some money in the bank where they can borrow it and pay it back. So you won't have to go out and rob, rape, and steal. And we're not even dealing with brothers like that, but just so happen you don't know what might trigger someone to go back to the streets or go back to something they're trying to do. So we don't even want them to jeopardize that. But it's about owning stuff. We're talking about real estate. We're talking about land. I mean, I can go buy a piece of land, but it's a financial chunk and it'd be a financial burden for me. But if 15 of us, it's like pennies. It's like pennies. It's like pennies. All us, 15 of us, to give you a perfect example, 15 of us could give $1,000 away to a charity right now, and it won't hurt neither one of our pockets, right? But what if we took that 15,000, because we all give 1,000 away. Let's take that 15,000. We can go buy two houses right now, put $7,000 on it. We own 2 houses, rental properties, and we start making money like that long term. It's a slow grind, but it's guaranteed, and you got ownership. And that's what it's about.
Yes, I love it. The power of collaboration and more so the power of love, y'all. Once again, y'all are tuning in to the Visions of Greatness talk show with our special guest, Mr. Vegas Don. We have just about a few more minutes left on our show today, but if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment box there. Yes, and I'm loving the comments by Angela here. Speaking of stop limiting yourself and bring back Black Wall Street. Yes, absolutely, y'all. I love it. Unity is the answer. Yes, unity definitely is the answer. Before we go on, also would like to make sure I shout out our sponsor, Swag Her Magazine. Swag Her Magazine has been rolling with Visions of Greatness for some time now, so I'm definitely grateful for your continued support. Swag Her Magazine, you can find them on all social media platforms at Swag Her Magazine. Once again, our premium sponsor of the Visions of Greatness talk show. All right, any questions or questions for Mr. Vegas Don? Your comments here? Mindset is key. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. All right, let's jump into this briefly, Vegas Don, because this is one of the things that we have discussed before, and that is the importance of entrepreneurs essentially having some type of routine to a certain extent. What are your thoughts, or what feedback would you give to entrepreneurs when it comes to, having a routine, or, ensuring that they get the things done that they need to get done, especially for those solopreneurs that are wearing multiple hats?
Well, but definitely, life throw you so many stumbling blocks, and you got the day-to-day chores in the house. You have other things you have to take care of as an entrepreneur. It's almost impossible to remember or think about all the things you need to do for your end goal, for your future goals. So what I do is a ritual. I've been doing it for even before the 20 years with Campaign for Change. I always did it. I'm old school. I write everything down. I don't turn the pages like I see a lot of people take a lot of notes, and they might write notes on 15 pages. You'll never flip those pages. So I kind of write everything down on a long sticky note. I'm gonna show you what I do. I got. Right. I can show you. So this one right here say dream, plan, and do. So I'm gonna make a to-do list like this, and then I got another one that's more like long term, and then I got another one a little shorter than that. It say goals, and that might be my daily goals. If you say, well, I see what I'm gonna do, my daily goals. Even if I don't even have this available, I'm gonna write something down on a sheet of paper. I can kind of give you one. I just had one. Yeah, I'm gonna write something down and say, you must do this, you must do that, and I scratch off as I go. So to make sure that I'm accomplishing something every day, but not one thing. I'm not satisfied with accomplishing just one thing. So I prioritize. It's very important that you prioritize your list too. One thing I learned that was mind blowing to me is when I paid this $3,000 to go to this Damien class, who the guy who owns Shark Tank. I paid this to go on. It was like a 4-day class, and trust me, you got to invest in yourself. And most of the stuff he was talking about and they shared, I already knew from my studies and, you know, my experience. But one of the things that probably most valuable thing that I learned that I wasn't doing, they told us to write down 15 things that we wanted to do, or 15 goals. And then they said, look at those 15 goals and prioritize which top three is going to get you to the money, because you're going to need money to get to whatever goal you want to get to. And a long story short, they said, once we got to those 3 that's going to get us closer to the money, they said, throw the other 12 to-dos to the side. Don't look at them no more and just concentrate on those 3. Because once you get the finances and in those 3 goals, those top priority goals, those small things will fall in place, or you have enough money to hire someone to do your calendar, set your appointments, or whatever the small things that's taking up a lot of your time. And I know, Shannon, you could contest to that. There's a lot of little things that me and you talk, and in our last, we're spending a lot of time on crossing our T's and dotting our I's when we could hire someone to do that. And that's what they do. So we can spend more time on getting to the money. Because at the end of the day, you got to get to the money.
Get to the money. Yes. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Vegas Dawn. Now, perhaps most of you already know this. I am a psychotherapist, mental health therapist, that is, providing counseling and therapy to clients in several different states. And one of the things I talk about often, Vegas Dawn, is the importance of self-care. So my question for you is, especially with, you know, you mentioned your personal challenges, but how do you maintain balance or perhaps harmony in your life and business?
I think, and a lot of people, you know, a lot of people probably tag me when they deal with me, like it's either Vegas way, the highway. I think you have to stay focused and true to who you are. When you start bending and going against your morals, your beliefs, you know, and if someone ain't telling you something that's really constructive, that you can see the path, the end goal in the path, I try to stay away from it. Like a lot of people say, well, you know, he don't really go into these parties or whatever. That's not my interest. So I'm gonna go, if I'm gonna go somewhere, I want to go somewhere where someone's thinking about being a millionaire. I'm gonna go somewhere where someone's thinking about networking and building and collaborating and things of that nature. So I think you have to be focused. And you know, we talked about focus. You know, I probably, you know how we was talking about that. You know, it's hard to stay focused up because, like I said, the world throws everything at you. But that's one of the things I think about me. I don't let someone deter me, you know, from my focus. I mean, I think I just know who I am, where I'm going. I have a strong mindset, and that's very important to have a strong mindset. And because people some people don't even mean no harm. They could say something and just deter you, and you don't even realize it. And they're not doing it on purpose. It's just that that's their mindset. You know, right. Their mindset is that, you know, and just like even for the Millionaire Brothers, I mean, it's almost, when I share it, it's almost elementary. 1 + 1 = 2. I don't even have to convince you. You can see it. You can look at the numbers. You can see it. Even then, some of the guys who are already somewhat successful, they still don't catch on or don't want to be a part of it. But do we let that one person or 2 people decide to walk out of the room, stop us from what we're doing? I tell people all the time, and this is one I tell them, I have hosted throughout the years meetings where everybody show up and we get stuff done. I have called meetings in my boardroom and nobody show up but me. Everybody got an excuse. I mean, my kids, my this, my that, everybody. And still, when I go in that boardroom, I still do my work that I came there to do. You don't let nobody stop you. Nobody. The only person that can stop you is you.
Yes, the only person. And Gail seconded that. She said, stay the course. Stay your course. Absolutely. We're going to take one question, and I see a question here. Vegas Dawn, before we conclude our show for today. But it's not too late, y'all, to share this video. And if you missed it from the beginning, y'all, Vegas Dawn has dropped some nuggets today, as he always does, okay? But he dropped some nuggets today. So be sure to catch the replay if you're just tuning in. And definitely share this video to anyone who needs some encouraging, whether you're an entrepreneur or someone else. Perhaps you're feeling stuck. Perhaps you feel like you're at a crossroads, right? Whatever the case may be, Vegas Dawn is definitely the hope dealer, y'all. Okay, he's definitely dishing us some hope today. So the question, Vegas Dawn, is how do you know what you should give to others, what you should give others to do, and what you should do yourself in your business?
Oh, that is a brilliant question because,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sharp in a lot of areas, but I done failed that test so many times. So I don't think I can give you the right advice because I have a hard time, delegating what I think someone should and should do. And be honest with you, the more confidence I had in people, this is from experience, the worse return I done got. And the people that I feel like I shouldn't give this to them, it seems like they step up to the challenge more. I think the more I put faith in people, the more I have been disappointed. So I just couldn't give you no sound advice on that. That's one of Vegas Dawn's weak points. I have to confess to that. I do got to shout out my partner too, DJ Craze, because I don't partner with many people, but with this virtual community connections, Craze has been a great asset. He comes up with a lot of the concepts as well. So, I just got to give him shout outs with that, and we're doing very well. And I appreciate it.
Definitely shout out to Praise. Hopefully you're tuning in, and if not, I know you're going to catch the replay later. Thank you so much, and I'm grateful, certainly, Vegas Dawn, to the two of you for bringing me on the team, the Virtual Community Connections team. Certainly one of the other pandemics that we discussed, the race pandemic, that is not anything new, but certainly something that has impacted all of us, and especially those of us of color, Black men and Black women, and our Black boys and our Black girls. Okay. So if you aren't familiar with Virtual Community Connections, definitely feel free to get in contact with Mr. Vegas Dawn, it is, or you can contact myself so you can learn more about the great work that they are doing with Virtual Community Connections and raising awareness about the importance of or the challenges that we're experiencing with racial injustice, not only in the Bull City, but really throughout the U.S. All right, y'all. All right. Well, thank everyone for tuning in. Vegas Dawn, before we conclude today, how can the Visions of Greatness audience get in contact with you?
Well, before I leave my contact, I want to say this because I forgot about this. I think this is probably the most important information that I could share, because I recently really started studying and digesting. And all my life, I used to hear, your elders, I used to hear educators say to get where you're going or know where you're going, you need to find out where you came from. And I don't think I had anything in life, far as education wise, to impact me like my recent studies. And I've been studying now and pretty much since the pandemic first hit, post-traumatic slave syndrome. I think that opened my eyes and made me a better person, but also made me more aware of my mentality, my mindset. And I think a lot of us suffer so much from it. That's why we can't get our mindset in check. So I highly recommend, if you never listen to anything else I tell you, to study these three things: post-traumatic slave syndrome, systemic racism, and that's because that's what they have continued to do to us right to this day, as well as mental health disparities. And I say that because a lot of us has been traumatized so much in our life, we don't want to be labeled to being crazy or need a psychiatrist. But I'm here to tell you right to this day, I need mental counseling. I need help. I've been traumatized as a kid. That's why I did all the violent things I did to my own people. That's why I sold drugs and poisoned my own people. It's a lot of things that I did that I'm not proud of. But I need healing myself. I done tried to, you know how you try to sweep it on the rug and think it's gone away? That trauma hasn't went away. And until I deal with that as a man, I would never reach my full potential and destiny that God has set for me. So I highly recommend you all. I think every Black person in the world needs to study post-traumatic slave syndrome, and you'll understand some of the things you do and why you do it. Even this stuff like Black people always late. I ain't gonna hire no Black people. They always doing something wrong. That's something that been put in our brain and been, where we think this automatically without even knowing it. So yeah, that's the key. If you want to get in contact with me, you can always email my organization, the letter C, the number 4, the letter C, the number 4, life, LIFE, at yahoo.com. I'm going to say it one more time, C4C for life at yahoo.com. It stands for Campaign for Change for Life, because I'm going to be doing this till the day I die. I hope you guys got something out of this. I thank you, Shanna, for having me on this great show. You're doing great things. Continue to do what you do. That's why I love working with you. Great spirit. And we're just going to help heal the world. And that's what we're going to do.
Yes. And I will be on if I didn't say this. Echoing for some reason.
Yeah, you kind of were breaking up kind of the whole show. I didn't want to say that because I could piece it together.
Okay, I apologize.
It wasn't you. It's technology.
That's one thing. All right, we're going to get through this last second. So, yeah, as a mental health therapist, I mean, mental health, as you indicate, Vegas Dawn, it certainly really impacts all of us. And as Jay-Z once said, you can't heal what you never reveal. So I definitely appreciate your transparency, Vegas Dawn. And I encourage more of you, definitely, it is okay to be in pain, y'all, right? But it's not okay to stay in pain. That's the problem, okay? When you actually choose to stay in pain because of whatever reason, right? Shame, you are in denial because you are in pain, whatever the reason may be, help is available. And certainly Destination Greatness Mental Health Services is available to help you. All you have to do actually is text Let's Talk, that's LETSTALK to 77948, and you'll actually receive a free consultation. But whatever you do, y'all, take charge of your mental health. Mental health is wealth. And I think I'm just going to end on that note, y'all. Mental health is wealth. Take charge of your mental health. Take charge of your life. Today, Vegas Dawn, thank you once again. This will not be the last that you will see us. Once again, share the video. I'm your host, Shanna A. Jefferson of the Visions of Greatness Talk Show. Love and greatness, y'all. Until next time.
Peace.